The Super Bowl has been held in New Orleans 10 times. That's 5.5% of the Super Bowls in NFL history. And they plan on going back many, many more times, including next in 2025. But why? What is the infatuation with this particular city? Your first reaction might be because of the Superdome. But New Orleans hosted 3 big games in Tulane Stadium, a hot concrete bowl, before the dome was built. That's right, some of the most iconic games in NFL lore. Hank Stram mic'd up as his Chiefs beat the Vikings, the Cowboys' commanding victory over the Dolphins, and the Steelers' first of 4 Super Bowl wins happened outdoors in New Orleans. The next 7 New Orleans Super Bowls took place in the Superdome, which opened in 1975. At the time, it was a marvel. Now it needs constant upkeep in order to stick around. With many state-of-the-art options, better cities, and better stadiums, it seems perplexing why the Super Bowl keeps coming back here. Today, we're going to try to get to the bottom of this. We'll study why the Super Bowl should come back and why it outright shouldn't, and figure out the Super Bowl's odd infatuation with this city. And that's all coming up right after this. Everyone has that go-to t-shirt, right? The one that fits your arms perfectly, accents your best features, and probably took years to find. Well, what if I told you that you could have an entire drawer full of go-to t-shirts, and you could look your best all the time? I'm talking about Cuts, and let me tell you, these shirts are not only comfortable, stylish, buttery soft, lightweight, and breathable, but they also make me look great. And I don't care what you think, I'm 45 years old and I work out 6 times a week. I want a shirt that tells people that. I might not look like that dude over there, but if I can look good, imagine how good you will look too. These shirts last. Stop spending your dough on shirts that only make it 2 to 3 washes. My advice, buy nice or buy twice. And I hate buying twice. Cuts is premium men's apparel that is confident, versatile, sophisticated, and functional. So after this video, head on over to cutsclothing.com from the link below and use my code FivePoints for a 15% discount. Again, that's cutsclothing.com from the link below. Use my code FivePoints for 15% off. Cuts, for the sport of business. In order to be considered for hosting the Super Bowl, the league looks for a number of hospitality assets, said Jay Cicero, president of the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. In terms of U.S. cities, few can do hospitality better than the Big Easy. New Orleans is home to 283 hotels, putting the New Orleans market at just under 40,000 hotel rooms as of 2021. That puts the city at around a quarter of Las Vegas's hotel rooms, but in terms of cities with NFL stadiums, they're comfortably within the top 15. Not bad for a town with a population of just 390,000, which is the 50th most in the country. But it's not about the permanent residents, it's about the tourists. The New Orleans tourism industry took in $10 billion in 2019, the last year before COVID-19 took its toll on travel. But why do people visit New Orleans, this rather obscure city on one of the most southernmost tips of the United States? Oh, you know, it's the beats. No, New Orleans has year-round music festivals, a unique Cajun food experience, the annual college football playoff, and of course, Mardi Gras and boobies. The city's infrastructure is built for visitors. They've got the restaurants to feed everyone, the hotels to house the tourists, and the walkability makes a commute non-existent. In fact, it takes just 21 minutes to walk from the heart of Bourbon Street to the Superdome. Plus, when the game is over, there's no last call in New Orleans, meaning the fans of the Super Bowl champions can celebrate as long as they want, without an hour-long Uber to their hotel rooms. Levi's Stadium. Our Superdome is constantly being upgraded and maintained to meet the demands of this and other major events, says Cicero. Walkability is big for us, having 22,000 hotel rooms within a 1-mile radius of the dome. And how about actually getting to the city? Despite being located on the Gulf Coast, away from Los Angeles and the New York media, it's surprisingly convenient despite a lengthy flight. Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans is located just near the western part of downtown and is just a 23-minute drive to the Superdome, 15 minutes to Bourbon Street. Compared to most airport situations where they tuck the airport far away from the city, it's a breeze. That's the biggest draw for New Orleans. It's not a hassle to get around once you're physically there, of course. Finally, there's one of the biggest reasons that's pretty tough to quantify but still ever present. I'm talking about tradition. New Orleans and the Superdome, hey, it's literally in the name, has become the quintessential Super Bowl location, along with Miami, by sheer force of repetition. They've had some stinkers, a couple blowouts involving the Denver Broncos, but they've also had some gems, including the iconic Rams-Patriots Super Bowl following 9/11. The NFL is obsessed with its own lore and landmark. Yes, the case for New Orleans is strong. However, there are some pretty interesting reasons why the NFL should cycle in some different venues, or even cut this one out entirely. Think back to the strangest, most bizarre moment in any Super Bowl over the last decade. No, I'm not talking about the Falcons forgetting to run the ball. In the third quarter of Super Bowl 47 between the Ravens and the 49ers, the lights went out at the Superdome. It's not just that this electrical failure caused us to sit on our hands for 34 minutes. It also jolted the game at large. At the point that the blackout occurred, the Ravens led 28-6. After the half-hour plus delay, the Ravens cooled off and the 49ers stormed back, scoring 25 points in the second half and falling by just a 3-point margin. Since that game in February of 2013, the NFL has not held another Super Bowl in New Orleans, but they're scheduled to return on February 9th, 2025, the date of Super Bowl 59. Since the blackout in 2013, the Superdome has undergone renovations to its video boards as well as its concourses. But this is still a stadium that will be 50 years old by the time it hosts its next Super Bowl. Half a century old, while other cities like Houston, Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, even Indianapolis had to construct new state-of-the-art stadiums to finally get rewarded with the chance to host. We listed some of the reasons New Orleans is a convenient place to get around once you're there, but there's plenty of reasons to avoid the Big Easy altogether. First of all, the city is a frequent target for natural disasters such as flooding or hurricanes. 2/3 of New Orleans is below sea level, which is a problem given that it's immediately surrounded by a lake, the Mississippi River, and of course, the Gulf of New Mexico. Those are some imposing bodies of water. New Orleans is quickly losing land to a rising coastline. Like a defensive lineman, the water surrounding the city continue to encroach at breakneck speeds. With every passing day, New Orleans is being swallowed by the water around it, meaning there is literally less and less New Orleans every time it hosts a Super Bowl, by quite a bit. Of course, it makes sense why settlers were quick to, settle in New Orleans. The city is located at the head of the Mississippi River, making the city a port for travel and transportation through a huge chunk of North America. The French realized that and used it to their advantage before we Americans bought that shit up for pennies on the dollar. Well, that was then, and this is now. We don't travel by steamboat anymore. We have airplanes, railroads, and cars. I think that's a John Candy movie, by the way. Something like that. Anyway, it's still fun to get drunk and float down a river on a nice day, but it's no longer a critical geographical advantage. There's a few other things you might not like about New Orleans. Chief among them is the smell. Depending on the time of the year, the city might reek of sewage, manure, cigarettes, urine, fish, weed, puke, gasoline, desperation, or other odors that may offend your nose. If you're not the partying type, dulling your senses isn't an option, and the city's less admirable qualities loom larger than if you're putting down 5 mint juleps an hour. Perhaps it's time to move the Super Bowl to other cities that haven't gotten a chance to host. Denver, Colorado has never had a Super Bowl despite getting pretty moderate weather in February. I know I said it snowed there, but I was wrong. The NFL held a Super Bowl in New York when it was just 49 degrees out. Why can't they let players brave the elements in a smaller market? Perhaps Buffalo deserves a shot to hold a cold weather Super Bowl after it bilks Buffalo for a new stadium. Whenever that happens, of course. So, despite all the reasons the Super Bowl should no longer be held in New Orleans, why does the NFL keep coming back to the well? Well, there's one obvious answer. The Super Bowl isn't just the biggest game of the year, it's the biggest party of the year. And what's the greatest party city in the world? No, not New Orleans, it's Las Vegas, you idiot. But because Las Vegas didn't build a Super Bowl caliber venue until 2020, the NFL had to settle for the second best option, which is indeed New Orleans. Although, I would look for New Orleans to be market corrected by Las Vegas in the upcoming decades of Super Bowl pageantry. In conclusion, journalist Amy K. Nelson wrote this in 2013, days before Super Bowl 47. I know of no other city in which the combined debauchery and city grid could provide the best people watching and communal experience, Nelson said. Of course, excess is a gross understatement in this city of sin, but really, it only aligns with the impressive power that is the NFL and its marquee event have grown into. I'm not sure anyone could have put it better than that. As the NFL grows more grandiose with every passing year, it's easy to understand why it would place its biggest game in a city that's capable of matching the sheer jubilance and celebration of the game it provides its players and fans. But how can we ascribe that sort of superiority to one city when there are still plenty of venues that haven't gotten the chance to host? Personally, I think the New Orleans Mafia has pictures of Goodell during Mardi Gras. Maybe that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and comment down below for more interesting videos or films on sports. I'm 5Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.